I think it's absolutely ridiculous to be scared of dying because there's nothing we can do about it. It's the one given.
Yes.
And I think if you can let go of that fear and just sort of, hey, we're going to die, it's much easier to live the rest of one's life sort of more fully. Otherwise, you go under this, you feel as though you're under penalty of death, which is known. You are.
On his 69th birthday, David Bowie gave the world his final gift, Blackstar. 2 days later, he was gone. Released on January 8th, 2016, Blackstar was full of life, beauty, mystery, and invention. Some hailed it as one of the best of Bowie's career, while others were thrown off by its avant-garde jazz influences. But one thing was certain: Blackstar was a bold sonic evolution, touching on some familiar themes like death, introspection, and alienation. And it had Bowie's iconic mystique written all over it. Even the cover, featuring a simple black star, was an oddity. It's the first Bowie album without his image on it. Then on January 10th, Bowie passed away, and Blackstar transformed overnight. It quickly became clear that this was more than an album. It was Bowie's farewell, crafted during an 18-month battle with liver cancer. As his producer Tony Visconti said, his death was no different from his life. A work of art. Blackstar became a remarkable final statement, one Bowie controlled right to the very end, leaving us with one of the most unforgettable exits the music world has ever seen, or likely ever will again. For nearly a decade, David Bowie was a ghost. After a heart attack in 2004, he slipped out of the spotlight, leaving fans with only rumors and old records to remember him by. In New York City, he embraced a quieter life, focused on art and family, largely out of public view. Then, almost out of nowhere, he returned in 2013 with The Next Day, a project so secretive that everyone involved signed NDAs, and even Bowie's label didn't know until the final stages. This wasn't just a comeback. It was an announcement that David Bowie had returned. He briefly joined Arcade Fire on Reflector, won British Male Solo Artist at the 2014 Brit Awards, and started collaborating with a jazz orchestra. But in the summer of 2014, Bowie was diagnosed with liver cancer, setting the stage for his next and final music chapter.
You either become comfortable or live in terror of as you get older, which is that life is finite, that there's a physical end to it, that you die. I think the filthy lesson of the heart is when that's sort of, when you really understand that you die.
David Bowie spent decades wrestling with life's biggest questions: mortality, identity, and what it means to be human. In Space Oddity, he introduced us to Major Tom, a lone astronaut drifting through the cosmos, embodying both the wonder and isolation of existence. On Ziggy Stardust's closing track, Rock and Roll Suicide, Bowie showed death as more than an end, as a moment for connection.
You're not alone!
He turned self-destruction into unity, inviting listeners to find meaning together in the face of darkness. And as Bowie's work evolved, so did his reflections on mortality. With Heathen, The Rays, Bowie captures life's fragility and beauty through a setting sun, a symbol that blends that feeling of awe with finality.
I can feel it die.
And by The Next Day, death looms as a constant, unresolved force.
Here I am, not quite dying, my body left to rot in a hollow tree.
These tracks all lead to Blackstar, where Bowie's reflections on mortality and transformation reach their peak as he confronts these questions in real time, privately battling a terminal illness. But why the name Blackstar?
But I know that it does occur to most of us, I think, who work in the arts or in writing or expressing oneself. When you're expressing oneself, you're also trying to express one's existence, so it's wrapped up in the same thing. I don't know.
The title is a riddle, layered with meaning and symbolism that encapsulates the spirit of Bowie's life, creative legacy, and final days. Three prevailing theories emerge, each revealing a different side to Bowie's Blackstar title. You can decide which one rings most true. In H.P. Lovecraft's mythos, the Blackstar represents humanity's fear of dark cosmic forces and the unknown. Fitting for Bowie, who often explored existential dread. His 1970 track, The Supermen, spoke of wondrous beings chained to life in bleak eternity,
Wondrous beings chained to life.
reflecting both Lovecraft's cosmic horror and Nietzschean existentialism. Through Blackstar, Bowie might be creating his own Lovecraftian meditation on the terror and beauty of the unknown, a final confrontation with the vast mysteries of life and eternal sleep. Another theory ties Blackstar to Elvis Presley's obscure track, Blackstar, where Elvis sings, "When a man sees his black star, he knows his time has come."
My time has come.
Presley's lyrics capture the tension between living fully and accepting death's inevitability, a theme that may have resonated with Bowie as he faced his own mortality. If Bowie's Blackstar nods to Presley's, it becomes a tribute to artists who confront life's deepest questions, shifting Bowie's album into a reflection on death, continuity, and the legacy artists leave behind. Another theory suggests Blackstar refers to a medical term for a certain type of cancer lesion. However, this Blackstar is commonly linked to breast cancer, while Bowie had liver cancer, so I'm calling that one busted. My preferred theory, and perhaps the one most aligned with Bowie's reasoning, is that Blackstar takes its name from a cosmic phenomenon, a star nearing the end of its life, emitting only a faint glow. Unlike a black hole which collapses entirely, a theoretical black star is an almost dead star, radiating softly, a haunting presence that resists fading away. This theory also draws on Buddhist principles of impermanence and cosmic reinvention, concepts that deeply resonated with Bowie throughout his life. For Bowie, long fascinated with the cosmos, this metaphor feels like a natural progression. Shifting from Space Oddity's hopeful Major Tom to the enigmatic black star, Bowie evolves into the ultimate starman, a faint light in the universe that lingers long after he's gone. The black star becomes a symbol of Bowie's own reinvention into a figure both mortal and eternal, a self-created icon who lives on in his art. Perhaps Bowie's image lies on the cover after all. Whether a symbol of cosmic horror, a nod to legends past, or a faintly glowing star, each theory offers a way to understand Bowie's final creation. But why the jazz rock sound? It was Grammy-winning composer Maria Schneider who played a pivotal role in guiding Bowie towards the jazz-infused sound of Blackstar. After collaborating with Schneider on Sue or In a Season of Crime, she encouraged him to explore New York's jazz scene, specifically recommending a quartet that she felt could match Bowie's experimental vision.
I had told him about Donnie's music that I really felt was coming from a place where David was interested in, and that's kind of the drum and bass thing. And they were in the same headspace, and David was wanting to introduce the jazz part, and Donnie was going in more in that realm of rock, and I just thought, wow, there's an intersection here, so I had said to David, I really think you should collaborate with Donnie. I think it would be fantastic.
At Schneider's suggestion, Bowie attended a performance at the 55 Bar, where he first saw the jazz quartet in action. Impressed by their chemistry, Bowie invited the quartet to join Blackstar. The result was a jazz rock fusion that gave the album an eerie, unpredictable feel, alien, yet strangely familiar. Recorded in secrecy at New York's Magic Shop and Human Worldwide Studios, the Blackstar sessions were all about freedom and chemistry.
It was amazing, but yeah, he really encouraged us to do our thing. And, we made this weird record 8 years ago, the Los Angeles Improvisations. So he would reference that record. He'd be like, oh yeah, I really love what you did here. Maybe you could try stuff like that. It's like, oh my God, David Bowie's sitting at home listening to this record,
Bowie encouraged the musicians to dive into their jazz instincts and just play, creating a spontaneous and unique feel for each track. Working with jazz musicians instead of rock players gave Blackstar a distinct edge. Not purely a jazz album, but a rock album transformed by jazz, pushing Bowie's sound into new and unpredictable territory.
And I think all of us, Tim LaFave, Ben Monder, Mark, as we listened to that record, it's like, wow, they left everything in there that we played. No, and I think that's one thing that for us felt so wonderful about hearing it was we listened to it, it's like, that's us. Right. That's what we do. We hear the interaction, all this, it's all there. And that, I guess that's, that was really affirming, because that's what he wanted. He wanted us to do our thing, and they left it in there.
James Murphy of LCD Sound System briefly joined the sessions, originally considered as a co-producer alongside Bowie and Tony Visconti. While his role stayed undefined, Murphy added percussion to the new rendition of Sue or In a Season of Crime and Girl Loves Me, and used a rare suitcase synthesizer to add textures to the recordings. Bowie looked beyond jazz as well, drawing inspiration from Kendrick Lamar's genre-bending To Pimp a Butterfly, which pushed him to fuse sounds in bold, unexpected ways.
Loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated.
Experimental acts like Death Grips and Boards of Canada also fed Bowie's vision, blending jazz, rock, and electronic into an undefinable sound. This innovative approach would not only redefine his music, but also set the stage for his final message. A farewell transmission from a starman preparing to leave Earth behind.
Do you indulge in any form of worship?
Life. I love life very much indeed.
On November 19th, 2015, David Bowie released the Blackstar music video, hinting at themes of life, legacy, and mortality with symbols that were only later understood. The video opens with the body of an astronaut, likely Major Tom from Space Oddity, lying on a barren landscape beneath a darkened sun, a black star. A smiley face patch adds a touch of irony, nodding to Bowie's playful side even in darker moments. Then a woman with a tail uncovers the astronaut's jewel-encrusted skull, treating it as a sacred relic. This reverence signifies Bowie's transformation into a timeless figure, his spirit, cherished and immortal. As the ritual begins, the astronaut's headless skeleton drifts through space, pulled toward the black star. Bowie portrays three characters in the video, including Button Eyes, a blind prophet who sings of a solitary candle, an enduring light amid darkness, symbolizing resilience.
In the villa of all men stands a solitary candle.
The word Orman, which evokes the Norse term Orm, meaning serpent or dragon, hints at cycles of death and rebirth common in Norse mythology. This reference adds another layer of transformation to Bowie's message, suggesting that death is part of an ongoing cycle rather than an end. With his eyes uncovered, Bowie changes into a priestly figure. He holds a book marked with the Blackstar symbol, a powerful sign of his final message, inviting us to listen. Singing "Something Happened on the Day He Died," Spirit rose a meter then stepped aside, Bowie hints at a spirit that lingers, casting himself as an enduring presence, a black star who remains.
I'm the great I am.
The video gets pretty abstract in its second half, so I'd love to hear some of your interpretations in the comments below. In Blackstar, Bowie transcended the concept of a goodbye. He ritualized his own passing, crafting a mystery whose layers reveal themselves more profoundly with time. Around the time Bowie released the Blackstar video, he began filming the Lazarus video, just as he learned his cancer was terminal. The weight of this news permeates the video, as Bowie, cast again as the button-eyed blind prophet, faces his mortality head-on. The opening scene reveals a woman emerging from a wardrobe, a symbolic passage between life and death, followed by Bowie lying in a hospital bed, detached and singing, "Look up here, I'm in heaven," as if he's already beyond the physical world, bearing invisible scars from illness and fame. This imagery draws from two biblical stories of Lazarus. In one, Lazarus, a poor man, finds eternal peace after suffering, while in the other, Jesus resurrects Lazarus 4 days after his death, symbolizing rebirth. Bowie's character embodies a modern Lazarus, enduring life's trials and seeking peace, suggesting his journey is about embracing transcendence and not just facing an end. Like Lazarus, Bowie seems caught between worlds, embodying a figure whose story is unfinished, forever altered by death, yet leaving a lasting mark. In this way, Bowie's Lazarus becomes a reflection of his own passage from life into legend, a man liberated by art, transcending the physical world. The woman beneath his bed reaches up as if to tether him to life, but Bowie, appearing to float above, sings "I'm so high it makes my brain whirl," embracing release in his final days.
I've got nothing left to lose.
Like Lazarus transcending earthly struggles, Bowie's elevation here suggests spiritual liberation. a transition to a new realm. Finally, Bowie's arms open in surrender as he declares, "Just like that bluebird, now ain't that just like me?" The bluebird, likely a nod to Charles Bukowski's poem, represents a final release of the private self he'd hidden from the world. Throughout his career, Bowie wore countless personas, masking his true self. But here, facing the end, he's ready to let it all go. The bluebird isn't just about vulnerability. It's about Bowie's ultimate liberation, a final act of honesty as he prepares to leave it all behind. And the video concludes with Bowie stepping into the wardrobe, completing his journey from life into something beyond. With Blackstar and Lazarus, Bowie anchors the album in themes of mortality, transformation, and eternity, directly confronting his own departure. While these songs confront mortality head-on, the album's other tracks explore complex human emotions, weaving tales of love, power, and betrayal that enrich Bowie's final opus. Originally singles from 2014, Sue or In the Season of Crime and 'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore were re-recorded for Blackstar, with a punchier, stripped-down sound that amplifies their themes of love, power, and betrayal. Shifting from personal narratives to more enigmatic themes, Bowie delves into cryptic symbolism in the album's remaining tracks. Girl Loves Me is Bowie at his most cryptic, blending the dystopian language of Nadsat from A Clockwork Orange with Polari, a British slang once used by the gay community to communicate covertly.
Sounds so titty up this mouth check say.
By fusing these outsider languages, Bowie draws on subcultures to create a vivid sense of disorientation and rebellion, inviting us into a mind racing against time.
When the fuck did the Monday go?
Dollar Days is Bowie's bittersweet meditation on mortality and the unfulfilled urge to create. As he contemplates the English evergreens he may never see again, Bowie accepts the inevitability of his passing while expressing an unrelenting drive to defy convention.
I'm dying to.
His words carried a double meaning, initially conveying a sense of longing to accomplish more, yet in hindsight, they also reflect his acceptance of the end.
I'm dying to.
In I Can't Give Everything Away, Bowie bids farewell with an acceptance of mystery, ensuring a part of him will always remain hidden. The refrain, "I can't give everything away," reflects Bowie's choice to leave his legacy partially shrouded, preserving an air of enigma even in his last moments.
I can't give everything.
It's as if Bowie's saying, "I've given you so much, but there are some mysteries I'll keep to myself." He confronts mortality with phrases like "skull designs upon my shoes" and "flowered news," which evoke both the personal symbolism of death and the grief that was soon to follow. This track is filled with echoes of Bowie's past, like the haunting harmonica from Lowe's A New Career in a New Town, tying his final reflections on life and legacy together. Through Blackstar, Bowie secures his place as an enigma, a parting figure who leaves his fans with a legacy that will only grow with time.
Are we big enough and mature enough to exist like that? Are we mature enough to accept that there's no plan, there's no going somewhere, there's no gift of immortality at the end of this if we evolve? If we evolve far enough, we may never have to die. I mean, that seems to be the reach from the past. Well, maybe we can't live like that. Maybe we have to exist and live on the idea that we have one day at a time to live. And can we do that? Because if we could do that, we may be serving some great thing.
Despite the gravity of his illness, Bowie continued planning for the future, discussing a potential revisit of a project that had fallen through the cracks with Brian Eno, and additional material with Tony Visconti. There's also plenty of unreleased Blackstar material, like the full-length version of the title track and a rumored duet with Lord. In his final weeks, he even wrote 5 new demos, still driven to create. As Visconti noted, the end must have been very rapid for Bowie, suggesting he may have believed he had more time. Released on his 69th birthday, just 2 days before his death, Blackstar was Bowie's final gift to his fans. It was regarded as a return to form that rekindled the experimental edge of Bowie's most iconic eras. It felt like the start of an exciting new phase. The sudden release caught fans off guard, Some sensed an ominous message in the music and its videos, but few realized just how close he was to the end. After Bowie's passing, the album became a mystery to unravel, while for others, it was simply too painful to face.
And you have spent a lot of time recently working very hard, haven't you? Working on another project?
Yeah, they certainly don't discourage you from doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's not like bed rest and a lot of water will, straighten you out.
And how is that work now under this circumstance, living with this diagnosis? How is the work now compared to when you assumed you were healthy, when you were only going to see Dr. Stan?
I'm working harder and you put more value on every minute. You do live. I mean, I always thought I kind of did that. I really always enjoyed myself, but it's more valuable now. You're reminded to enjoy every sandwich and every minute of playing with the guys and being with the kids and everything.
Bowie isn't the first artist to confront mortality in his final work, and he likely won't be the last. His work joins an elite group, alongside Warren Zevon, Leonard Cohen, and Jacques Brel, where each artist adapts their last days into a profound statement. Yet Bowie's Blackstar stands apart. While Cohen, Brel, and Zevon's farewells are intimate and grounded, Bowie elevates his to a mythic, cosmic narrative, casting the end of life as a mysterious rebirth, rather than a personal farewell. His final act isn't simply a goodbye, but a self-mythologizing gesture, immortalizing his legacy in a way that blurs the line between art and life. From the start, Blackstar was set to make waves, but Bowie's death transformed it into a cultural phenomenon. The album topped charts globally, marking his first ever #1 in the US and going platinum in 12 countries. Blackstar went on to win all 5 Grammy Awards it was nominated for and became the top-selling vinyl album of 2016 in the UK. Even in death, Bowie kept on giving. Months after Blackstar's release, fans discovered a hidden detail on the vinyl sleeve. When light passed through the star-shaped cutout, it revealed a constellation. A final cosmic wink from Bowie. Designer Jonathan Barnbrook apparently added other details unknown to Bowie himself, leaving the album with mysteries intended to be uncovered over time.
When I was about 18, I studied Tibetan Buddhism for about 2 or 3 years, and I had a teacher, Chimi Yangdang Rinpoche. But the one thing that he left me with was a sense of transience and change, which actually became fundamentals to my life, my approach to it, and not holding on to anything. Not considering that there is anything that will last through one's entire eternal life, living or dead. And it makes letting go very easy. Material things or physical things. And looking for the source of one's own being becomes much more important. And I guess that's been sort of my own personal journey, is trying to sort out where my spiritual bounty lies, where my thread to a universal order lies, and that can become a life search. And I think that's, as a writer, probably what I involve myself in more than anything else.
Blackstar wasn't just David Bowie's farewell. It was his ultimate transformation, turning his own mortality into a lasting piece of art. With every track, he invites listeners to reflect on big questions, all while staying true to his signature style. Bold, mysterious, and unpredictable. In Blackstar, Bowie remains more than a musician. He's the icon in his final self-made myth, a black star, enduring for as long as we continue to listen. There was so much to explore with Bowie's Blackstar that I created an extended cut of this video, available exclusively on Nebula. Over there, I take a closer look at Bowie's new version of the track Sue and the commentary within 'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore. I also dive deeper into more of Bowie's reflections on death, more of the symbolism in the Blackstar video, his final days in creating the Lazarus musical, and plenty more. It's an even deeper dive that serious Bowie fans won't want to miss. A lot of the musical breakdowns just can't live here on YouTube. But Nebula isn't just for extended cuts like this. It's also home to originals, exclusive high-quality projects made by creators you might already know. For example, Lindsay Ellis debuted The Ballad of John and Yoko, untangling the myths about the Beatles' breakup and shedding light on what Yoko Ono was and wasn't responsible for. It's still one of music's biggest debates. And if you're looking for a unique gift this year, Nebula now offers gift cards. For just $36, you can give someone a full year of Nebula. Or for a one-time payment of $300, you can get a lifetime subscription and enjoy Nebula's entire library forever. No renewals needed. And I would worship you forever. You can sign up at nebula.tv/middle8, and with my link, you'll get 40% off an annual subscription. That's just $36 for the year, or $3 a month. Honestly, a steal. So if you want to dig deeper into Bowie's final masterpiece with me, or check out incredible projects like The Ballad of John and Yoko, head to nebula.tv/middle8.